Welcome to the Wife Stories YouTube channel. New video every day, and don't forget to subscribe. Here we go.
I put the key on the nightstand and glance at the silent buzz of my phone, the screen lighting up with a single notification that seems so inconspicuous at first. I've just walked in, shoes still on, shoulders aching from a long drive back from a 3-day conference. Outside, I hear the low rumble of passing cars, distant but steady. And for a moment, I want nothing more than to sink into the old recliner in the living room and close my eyes. But the phone's insistent light beckons with that new message alert. I pick it up, notice who sent it, and see the tiny image attached, a thumbnail of a video. It's only a few seconds. No caption, just the words, "Check this out," from a distant acquaintance I haven't spoken to in months. I tap the screen. The volume is down, so I hear nothing but a faint static hiss. The video is grainy and poorly lit. At first, it's hard to recognize what I'm looking at, but then a hand moves in the shot, a flash of a silver robe, and something about that robe is painfully familiar. My heart constricts. I tell myself I must be mistaken. I've been on the road, I'm overtired, my eyes are playing tricks. But the robe is the same I bought for Rebecca in Charlottesville, a fancy little boutique near the college campus. She wore it the night we celebrated our 2nd anniversary in this house. She had said she didn't wear anything else under it, and she had winked. That memory punches the air out of my lungs as I realize what the video is. Her. Rebecca. I turn up the volume, just a bit, and I hear laughter. Another man's voice, faint but audible. A low, confident laugh. Then the camera angle shifts, and I see the horrifying truth. Rebecca is kneeling. He stands before her, shirtless, belt undone, the edges of our comforter visible in the background. Our bedroom lamp casts a warm glow across the bed. It's our room, beyond any doubt. The same place we built our marriage, the same place I used to believe was sacred. And now I'm looking at it as though it's some cheap motel. My hand trembles. How many seconds pass before I stop the video? 5, 10, an eternity. My stomach churns. I question if this is real, if I've fallen into some twisted dream. Why would anyone, why would she, do this? I feel my pulse hammering in my ears. My knees threaten to buckle, so I sit on the edge of the bed. The comforter is neatly spread, the pillows in place. Everything looks so innocent, but I've just seen the opposite. I fight the urge to throw the phone across the room. 1,000 questions batter my skull. How long has this been going on? Why didn't I see the signs? Did I miss it because I was too focused on my job, my ambition, my routine? I run a hand through my hair, feel the dryness in my throat. I want to be furious, but all I feel is a profound sense of emptiness, like my bones have been hollowed out. It takes me a few minutes to gather myself. I replay the video, though it's the last thing I want to do. I watch it more carefully, scanning the background for details, for proof. Some twisted part of me wants to confirm that I'm not imagining. I pause on a frame that shows him, tall, muscular, a faint line of a tattoo on his shoulder. I see my dresser behind them, the same place where I keep my watch, the watch my grandfather left me when he died. My mind screams. I keep pressing pause, scanning every corner. I realize the angle is from a phone or a camera someone else held. Someone else was there, filming them. That might be her platinum friend, the one who posted or took the photo earlier. I never liked that friend. She always seemed so hungry for attention, so quick to gossip, to stir the pot. And now there's no doubt about what took place in my absence. I stand and walk to the small safe in the closet. I open it to confirm that everything is still inside. My Glock 19, a few documents, a small stack of keepsakes. My hands shake on the keypad. Why am I checking this now? Am I looking for an outlet for my rage? I stare at the gun, cold and metallic. My reflection stares back from its barrel. I'm not a violent man, but the idea flickers through my mind in a flash of red. What if? Then, as quickly as it came, it fades. I close the safe, lock it, step back. My phone buzzes again. Another message from the same acquaintance. Dude, sorry, I thought you should know. They posted it on a closed group, but it leaked. That's messed up. The wave of shame hits me like a physical blow. People I know, maybe coworkers, neighbors, might have seen it. I feel the color drain from my face. I force a gulp down my parched throat and think, this is beyond betrayal. This is humiliation. I sit there a long time, phone in my hand. Eventually, I decide to confront it head on, to see everything that's out there. My rational mind, the part of me that thrives on controlling finances, analyzing risks, and producing neat spreadsheets, says, gather the facts. So I do. I search social media. Sure enough, her friend's page has a recent post with a winking caption, when the hubby's away, and a blurred snapshot of a man's back, a woman's figure kneeling. The tags are hidden, but it doesn't take a detective to know who's who. My chest burns. I realize the time stamp is from earlier today, while I was still driving home. Even as I stare at it, that quiet hum of guilt creeps in, whispering, maybe it's your fault. Maybe you weren't enough. I feel a perverse sting of shame, as if I'm the one who has done something wrong. I bury my face in my hands. I ask myself, did I neglect her? Was I too stuck in routine? Did I fail to see that she wanted more excitement? My rational side fights back. What kind of logic is that? She's an adult. She could talk to you. This is not your shame. It's hers. But the guilt persists, and it gnaws at my insides. Eventually, I pace around the bedroom. The key I dropped on the nightstand stares back at me like an accusation. This house, it was supposed to be our shared future. We planned to have kids here. And now it's tainted. A memory stirs. The day I bought her that robe in Charlottesville. She laughed, told me it was the softest, most luxurious thing, then whispered in my ear that I wouldn't regret it later that night. I remember how happy I felt, how cherished. It's all dust in my hands now. I glance at the clock. Nearing 6 p.m. She's not home yet. In my mind, I see them. Where could they be? Are they meeting again? My pulse hammers. Should I call her? Should I drive somewhere? Maybe to her friend's house, or to the bar, or just keep driving until I find them. But a calmer voice suggests I wait here. Confrontation is inevitable. If she comes home, I'll face her. If not, well, I'll figure out my next move. Time crawls. I can't stomach dinner. I slump into the chair in the living room, the old recliner I got from my father when he upgraded his. The outside noise from the street is a steady drone. It contrasts so sharply with the hush inside these walls. Inside, I can almost hear my own heartbeat echo. I flick on the TV mindlessly, flipping channels without absorbing anything. My phone sits in my lap, heavy as a brick, though no new notifications appear. That emptiness in my gut grows. Around 8 p.m., headlights splash across the front window. My heart jumps. I hear the car door, the rustle of footsteps. I tense up, bracing for the swirl of adrenaline I know is coming. But I stay seated. I can't force myself to greet her at the door. I'm not sure I can even stand. The door opens. I hear her heels on the hardwood floor, the jingle of her keys. She calls out my name in a bright voice. It sounds contrived, or maybe my ears are sharper now. John, you home? I swallow a lump in my throat. Yeah, in here. She steps into the living room, flicks on the overhead light. I glance over. She looks normal. Hair styled, makeup intact. A whiff of perfume drifts my way. She smiles at first, then sees my face and the tension in the room. Her expression changes. You're back early, she says, a note of hesitation creeping in. How was the conference? Cut it short, I reply. I can hear how flat my voice sounds, how disconnected. I saw something. She frowns. You saw something. What do you mean? My heart beats so loud I think it might drown out my voice. I stand, phone in hand, and face her. I saw a video, Rebecca. Her cheeks pale, and she looks away, fiddling with her purse strap. Video. I don't. Stop. I say, my voice rising uncharacteristically. Don't lie to me. There's a long pause. She swallows, struggling for composure. John, maybe you should let me explain. She takes a step closer, tries to reach for my hand, but I pull away, fists clenching at my sides. It's so tempting to yell, to lash out, that I feel something colder, heavier inside me. I saw you, I say quietly. With him, in our bedroom. Tears well up in her eyes, or maybe it's just fear. She starts talking fast, words tumbling over themselves. It was a mistake, something that shouldn't have happened. I was lonely, you're always working, and I bark out a laugh, a sound without any humor. That's what you're going with. You were lonely, so you decided to kneel in front of some guy, in the bed we share. She flinches. He's not some guy. We've known each other a while. It got out of hand. I never meant for it to. Spare me, I interrupt, my voice growing sharper. You never meant for me to find out. That's all. And you sure as hell didn't mean for that video to be posted. Rebecca's face twists with something between fear and indignation. Posted? Who posted what? Are you talking about my friend? I slam my phone onto the coffee table. The screen cracks. Neither of us even glances down. Yes, your dear friend decided to share it with the world. I got it from someone else. So not only did you cheat, you humiliated me. In front of who knows how many people. She closes her eyes, pressing trembling fingers to her forehead. God. I had no idea she filmed it. I'd never have let her. John, believe me, I didn't want to hurt you. Something inside me wants to scream. I want to hurl accusations, demands, questions, but instead, an awful calm settles over me. You wanted to hurt me or not, it doesn't matter. You did. You can't take that back. She covers her mouth, tears sliding down her cheeks. I'm so sorry, she whispers. You were gone so much, and you've been distant for months, and I felt worthless. Then Michael showed up, and it was exciting. It made me feel alive, but I didn't want you to know. I was going to stop. A cold cynicism seeps into my voice. You were going to stop. Right. When? After filming session number 2. She steps forward again, voice rising in desperation. This is not who I am, John. I love you. I do. It's just that I was feeling. Stop, I say, more quietly this time. Don't use that word. Love. It's a betrayal of language now. In the silence, I notice how the outside world keeps rolling along. A dog barks down the street. A car honks in the distance. The everyday bustle runs on autopilot, while our marriage collapses here inside these walls. She stands there, tears still shining, uncertain what to do. I walk over to the bedroom, ignoring her as she calls my name. I open the closet and punch in the code to the safe. She gasps, stepping back when I remove the Glock, gripping it just long enough to feel its weight. I sense her fear like a static charge in the air. I stare at her a moment, see the alarm widen her eyes. Then, with deliberate motions, I place the gun in a drawer and shut it. I spin around and face her, voice husky with suppressed rage. I'm not going to shoot you, I say bitterly. But I did think about it for a second there, just to scare myself. Maybe to see if I could even feel anything beyond this dull ache. I can't, so you're safe. She stares at me, speechless, tears running freely now. Pack your things, I say quietly, though my whole body trembles with tension. Or I'll pack mine. Either way, it's over. She opens her mouth, but I cut her off with a raised hand. Don't. There's nothing left to say tonight. She hesitates, still crying, then grabs a small duffel bag from beneath the bed. I'm standing there, arms folded, as she stuffs in some clothes haphazardly. She tries to approach me again. "John, please, I'm sorry." I step away, out of reach. "Just go. Go be with him if that's what you want. Or stay at a hotel. I don't care." Her shoulders shake, and she wipes her eyes, heading out the door. The living room light flips off, then back on, as if she's unsure what to do. Finally, she leaves. The house feels as if it exhales the moment the door closes. I stand there in the silence, feeling the emptiness like a physical presence. I think about calling someone, my mother, my sister, a friend. But I can't stomach the embarrassment, so I do what feels easiest. I brew tea, just like I always do in the evenings. I stand in the kitchen, letting the bitter aroma fill the air. I don't add sugar. Bitterness seems appropriate now. Hours pass in a haze. At some point, I drag myself to bed. Sleep is impossible. Every time I close my eyes, I see that video, or hear the echo of her voice, or picture the man, Michael, apparently, standing there, half naked, defiling my space. I realize I'm trembling from rage, or maybe heartbreak. I let the quiet of the house press in on me. I ask myself 1,000 times, could I have prevented this? Did I fail her? My logic says no, but guilt is an insidious foe. It seeps in through every crack, whispering that somehow I should have known. Eventually, I drift into a restless sleep. I dream of standing in an endless corridor where each door opens to show that same grainy video on replay, mocking me. I wake drenched in sweat. By the faint light of dawn, I decide to get up. Lying here only makes it worse. I shower, dress, toss some clothes into a suitcase. I figure if she doesn't come back, I'll leave for a while. Maybe a motel near the interstate, or rent a small furnished apartment. I stare at my phone, checking for messages. There are several from her. The first is frantic. "John, please talk to me." The second, "I'm so sorry, let me explain." The third, "I love you, John. I can fix this." I turn off the notifications. I can't read any more of her pleading. I think about revenge. The first savage impulse is to do something dramatic, post the video to an even bigger audience, ruin her name. But that's not me. Another part of me contemplates confronting Michael face to face. The thought of punching him, wiping that smug grin off his face, is tempting. Then I think of the gun again. No, that's not who I want to be. In the end, I do none of those things. I just zip up my bag, grab my keys from the nightstand, and walk outside into the crisp morning air. The sunrise over the lawn is strangely beautiful. The dew sparkles on the grass. I stand there for a moment, breathing in the fresh air, trying to remind myself that the world is bigger than my pain. Then I put the suitcase in my trunk and drive off, heading nowhere in particular, letting the engine's hum guide me. I pass by a small roadside diner around 7 a.m. The neon sign blinks, inviting me in. I decide to stop, maybe get some breakfast, though I have little appetite. Inside, I order coffee, black, and stare at the menu. The place is half empty, a few older men sipping coffee and reading newspapers. They nod politely. I nod back. My hands are shaking slightly as I hold the cup. I set it down before I spill. The quiet helps. I focus on the small details, the scuff marks on the diner floor, the fan swirling lazily overhead, the waitress with tired eyes who keeps an eye on me like she sees something in my face that suggests heartbreak. It anchors me. For a moment, it feels good to be among strangers who know nothing about my situation. The coffee tastes bitter, but I decide I like it that way. After some time, my phone vibrates. I hesitate before picking it up. A text from an unknown number. Don't blame her alone. I'm part of this too. If you want to talk, I'm open. It's from Michael. My breath catches in my throat. How the hell did he get my number? Maybe from her phone. A wave of rage surges. The nerve of him to think I'd want to talk. I delete the text. I consider driving across state lines, maybe to a friend's place out near the coast. But I realize I'm tired of running, even if it's just for a day. I pay my check and leave the diner. The next few hours blur. I find myself wandering old back roads near the farmland outside Charlottesville, windows down, letting the wind whip through the car. I remember a time I drove these roads with Rebecca, early in our marriage. We laughed and talked about the future, naming possible children, dreaming of traveling. Now those memories weigh on me like stones. Sometime after noon, my phone buzzes again. This time it's from my sister, Caroline, who rarely calls me unless something is urgent. I answer. Her voice is gentle, but I can hear caution as she says, "John, I just saw some post online. Are you okay?" I sigh, realizing I can't hide it forever. Not really. But I will be. She sounds sympathetic, but not overly shocked, like she suspected things might be off. "Where are you? Mom told me you left your conference early." I rub my eyes, leaning back in the car seat. "Just driving. Trying to clear my head." She's quiet, then says, "I'll be at Mom and Dad's this weekend. If you need a place to crash, you can come. We can talk or not talk, whatever you need." Gratitude wells up, and I grip the phone a bit tighter. "Thank you, sis. I appreciate that. I'll think about it." We hang up. My chest feels a bit lighter, knowing I'm not alone, that someone in my family is willing to just let me exist without judgment helps. But I still don't feel ready to face them, because I can't handle the pity, the questions. "How did you not see it? Weren't there signs?" I want to avoid those. I'm not sure I have the strength for confessions and tears. So I keep driving, letting the miles slip under my tires, letting the day drift by. Late afternoon arrives, and I decide to circle back home. I'm not sure what I'll find there. Maybe she'll be waiting. Maybe the house will be empty. But it's mine too. I have every right to be there. On the drive back, I pull up to a red light. My phone lights again, a local number this time. I answer it without thinking. "John." A man's voice. I tense. "It's Michael. Don't hang up. Please. Look, I'm not trying to start a fight. I just feel like we should." I cut him off. "We should what?" "Talk about how you've been sleeping with my wife." There's a short silence. Then he sighs. "I get it. You're angry. But I don't want any more secrets or games. We didn't plan for it to get out like that. I'm sorry about the video." Her friend was. My anger flares. "Don't you dare talk to me about her friend. You and Rebecca are the ones who did this, not me. You have nothing to be sorry about except the fact that you got caught." Traffic behind me starts to move. I press the gas, phone pressed to my ear. "Listen," he continues, "I'm not proud of it. I didn't mean to humiliate you. It just happened between us. I guess You have no idea what you've done," I say in a low, shaking voice. "You've destroyed trust, broken something that can't be fixed. Don't call me again." I hang up. My hands are shaking, knuckles white on the steering wheel. A horn blares behind me, and I realize I'm drifting lanes. I force myself to focus. "Breathe, John. Breathe." Anger surges like a wave, but behind it is a stark emptiness, an exhaustion that feels older than time. When I finally pull into my driveway, the sun is already dipping low. The house looks the same, neat yard, quiet porch, yet nothing will ever feel the same again. I step out, half expecting the door to fling open with Rebecca rushing out tearful apologies. But the door remains shut. Inside, the air is stuffy, stale. I set my bag down, then notice a piece of paper on the kitchen counter. A note. Her handwriting is on it, big looping letters that tilt with haste. "John, I'm so sorry. I know I messed up. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I don't want to give up on us. Please call me when you're ready to talk. Rebecca." I read it twice. I crumble it in my fist. Then I flatten it out, place it back down. I don't know what I feel. I'm a swirl of anger, disappointment, heartbreak. Part of me wants to hear her out, to find some explanation that will make it hurt less. Another part wants to tear that note in half and never see her again. I wander into the bedroom. The bed is made. I stare at the duvet, remembering the images in that cursed video. A wave of nausea hits. I retreat, heading onto the veranda. The air outside is warm, the last rays of sun stretching across the lawn. I sit heavily in the old rocking chair, the one I sometimes used in the morning to sip coffee. Now I rest my elbows on my knees, bury my face in my hands. Hours slip by. Eventually, darkness settles, and I become aware of the moonlight, silvering the backyard. I watch it all in silence. My phone stays silent. No calls, no texts. I realize I've left it inside. I'm too tired to retrieve it. The quiet tears at me, though I guess it's better than a meltdown or a violent outburst. The guilt is still there, whispering that somehow this is all my fault, that I failed to be the man she needed. But I push it away, telling myself I didn't cheat. I didn't betray. She did. I think about the years we've had. The fights, the laughter, the quiet nights by the fireplace. I recall the things we promised each other. I wonder if time can heal any of this. Then, almost answering my own question, I realize that time might not heal. It might only erase. Erase the details, the intensity, until everything is just a scar. Is that healing? Or is it just forgetting? Eventually, I stir, go inside, and collapse onto the couch. Sleep finds me in fitful intervals. By morning, I have a splitting headache, a dryness in my eyes. I brew more tea, again without sugar, as if punishing myself with the bitter taste. Then I sit at the kitchen table, phone in hand, scrolling absent-mindedly through emails and messages. Work beckons. The bank expects me back on Monday. My clients expect me to manage their finances. Life expects me to continue. But how do I function with this crater in my chest? Sometime mid-morning, a knock at the door startles me. I freeze, half expecting Rebecca. But when I open the door, it's my sister, Caroline, with concern etched on her face. She steps in and hugs me tight, not saying anything at first. I want to push her away. I don't want pity, but something in me relaxes under her warmth. We stand there in the doorway, just hugging, until she releases me. Mom and Dad told me to check on you, she says softly. I know you said you needed time, but I didn't want you to go through this alone. I nod, letting her inside. We end up sitting in the living room. I catch a reflection of myself in the mirror on the wall. I look exhausted, older somehow. Caroline doesn't ask for details. She just says, I'm here if you need anything. I feel a burning behind my eyes. But the tears won't come. Instead, I whisper, I didn't see it coming. I just had no idea. She places a hand on my shoulder, frowning sympathetically. I'm sorry. Her voice is sincere. Some people do things we can't predict. It's not your fault. I close my eyes, nodding, remembering the swirl of guilt that's been haunting me. Thanks. I finally manage. Caroline leaves a while later, after making me promise to call if I need help. I appreciate her presence, but I still feel numb. I bust myself with small tasks, laundry, checking the mail, tidying up the living room. I find Rebecca's small belongings scattered around. A hair clip on the coffee table, a magazine with her handwriting scribbled on the cover. Each item is a small bullet of pain. That evening, I get a text from her. I need to pick up more things. Could we talk? I set the phone aside, ignoring it for almost an hour, but eventually, I respond. Fine. Tomorrow noon. I don't sleep well. My dreams are murky, swirling with images of her face and the shape of Michael's silhouette. By morning, I'm too wired to remain in bed, so I get up and make tea again. Same bitter taste. Maybe it'll remind me I'm still here, still capable of feeling something. Right around noon, I hear her car. She enters hesitantly, sees me in the kitchen. We don't hug. We don't even greet each other. There's a wariness in her eyes, a tension in her posture. I can see she's tried to dress modestly, little makeup, as if trying to appear contrite. She lingers near the threshold, uncertain whether to come closer. Get what you need, I say, gesturing vaguely. Then we'll talk. She nods, disappearing down the hallway to the bedroom. I stand in place, arms folded. The quiet churns. When she comes back, she's holding a few more clothes, a couple of her favorite books, some cosmetics. She places them in a bag by the door. Then she stands there, staring at me, tears brimming again. How do we fix this? She finally asks in a shaky voice. I let out a long breath. Do we fix it? Or is it beyond repair? She flinches at my bluntness, but I don't sugarcoat it. Not now. John, I've been thinking. I was selfish and stupid. I wanted excitement, and I didn't think about the consequences. But I swear it wasn't about hating you or wanting to leave you. It was just an escape. I feel a flicker of anger, but also a wave of sorrow. An escape from what? From me. From the life we built. She shakes her head frantically. No, from feeling like I was invisible. You have your job, your routines, everything so tidy. I felt like I was drowning in monotony. Her voice cracks. But that doesn't justify what I did. For a moment, I say nothing. Then I ask the question that's been burning in me. How long? She swallows. A few months. Her voice trembles. It was mostly texting at first, meeting for coffee. Then it escalated. My chest tightens, but I keep my composure. Did you ever plan on telling me? She brushes tears away. No. I meant to end it before you ever found out. But it got complicated. I was addicted to the rush. It was so wrong. But I didn't stop. A wave of disgust churns in my stomach. And that video. That was what? A final thrill. She shakes her head, despair crossing her features. I had no idea my friend was even filming. I'm humiliated too. I can't believe it got posted. Part of me wonders if her shame is mostly about being caught. I see her trembling though, and I can't deny there's genuine regret. Still, that regret is a drop in the ocean. I cross my arms over my chest, keep my distance. I don't know how to do this, I say quietly. My mind keeps going in circles. You hurt me. You betrayed me. You destroyed what we had. She takes a tentative step closer. I can't undo it, John, but maybe I can make amends. If you'll let me. Silence stretches. The fridge hums. A car passes on the street outside. I turn my head slightly, listening to that distant normalcy. Then I say, Rebecca, you've broken something fundamental. I don't know if it can be put back together. I watch her reaction. She looks stricken, her lip trembling. She opens her mouth, hesitates, then speaks in a rush. I'll do anything. Therapy, counseling. I'll quit working if that's what it takes. I just want us. A strange calm washes over me. I don't think it's about what I want you to do. It's about whether I can live with the memory of you and him in my home, in my bed, behind my back. Her tears fall freely. John, please. I love you. I look at her, meet her gaze. For a moment, I search for some glimpse of the woman I married, the one who once seemed so full of life and sincerity. But all I see is a stranger who has inflicted a wound that might never heal. I whisper, don't say that. It cheapens everything. She chokes on a sob. You don't understand. I'm not trying to cheapen anything. You're just trying to hold on. I finish for her, bitterness creeping in. Because you're scared. Because it's comfortable. But love? No. You discarded that when you brought another man into our bed. She whites her cheeks. I'm willing to earn back your trust, but I can't do it alone. Please. Give me a chance. My chest tightens painfully. Go stay at your friend's place, or a hotel. I need time. I need to figure out what's left in me. Her face crumbles, and she nods stiffly. She lifts her bag, shoulders hunch. Before she steps out the door, she looks back at me with desperate eyes. "I'm sorry," she mouths. Then she's gone, and the door closes with a soft click. I stand there a long time, the echo of that door shutting resonating through the quiet house. There's no immediate sense of relief, no wave of triumph, only a dull ache that throbs behind my ribcage. My phone buzzes again. Some message from work, likely a reminder of a Monday meeting. Life moves on, refusing to pause for heartbreak. Over the next few days, I operate in a fog. I go into the bank, consult clients, advise them on investments. My coworkers notice I'm quieter than usual, but they don't pry. I appreciate their distance. At home, I keep to the guest bedroom, refusing to sleep in the master bed. Something in me can't bear that room's betrayal. I ignore repeated calls from the friend who sent me the video, from acquaintances who ask, "Are you okay?" Out of hollow curiosity, I exist in a state of suspended reality, waiting for what? Perhaps for the pain to subside enough that I can function. Rebecca tries texting, calling, leaving voicemails. I listen to a few, each one laden with apologies, pleas, promises. They all swirl into a blur of words that can't erase what happened. I delete them. The day I finally speak to her again is the day she calls from a number I don't recognize. Her friend's phone, presumably. I answer instinctively. "John," she says, voice subdued. "Can we meet somewhere neutral? I just want to talk. No pressure, I promise." I hesitate, then exhale. Maybe I do need to see her, to say the final words. "All right. Tomorrow morning, that cafe on Riverside. 10 o'clock. Take it or leave it." She agrees, sounding relieved. That night, I sleep only a couple of hours. My dreams churn with images of the video, the memory of her kneeling, that stupid silver robe shimmering like a betrayal incarnate. I wake before dawn, heartsick, weary. I go for a run around the neighborhood, trying to outrun the pain in my chest. It doesn't work, but it leaves me physically spent. At 10 a.m. sharp, I'm at the cafe, a nondescript place with worn tables and a chipped counter. The smell of stale coffee and old sugar dispensers hangs in the air. I feel oddly detached, as if I'm watching myself from a distance. Rebecca arrives a few minutes late, wearing jeans and a simple sweater. No makeup, hair pulled back, a subdued expression. She orders a tea. I stick to black coffee. We sit at a small table near the window. Outside, the street hums with traffic, a muffled roar that highlights the tension between us. She looks at me, her eyes red-rimmed. "Thank you for meeting," she starts quietly. I give a terse nod. "Get on with it." She blows out a shaky breath. "I know you might never forgive me. I accept that. But I still want you to know that what we had was real. I destroyed it, yes, but it was real. And I'm sorry." I sip my coffee, letting the bitterness coat my tongue. "You wanted excitement," I say dully. "Some passion, right? Well, you found it." Her gaze flickers with pain. "I was selfish. I thought I was missing out on something, that I deserved more. I hated feeling like just a part of a routine. I see now that I was blind to everything you did for me, and I took it all for granted." A wave of conflicting emotions surges in me. I recall the nights I came home late, weary from work. She'd complain I was never around. I remember how I tried to show love through practical acts, paying the bills, planning for our future. Maybe she needed words, attention, spontaneity. But does that justify any of this? I set down my coffee cup. "Rebecca," I say slowly, "you tore something sacred to me. I don't know if I can ever look at you without seeing that betrayal. And I don't know if I want to." Tears slip down her cheeks, and she nods. "I understand," she whispers. "If I could go back, I'd never." "We can't go back," I say, cutting her off gently. That's the tragedy. She bites her lip, tries to steady herself. I don't have the right to ask, but do you see any possibility of us working through this, even if it's a long shot? I close my eyes, letting her question hang. At one time, I might have leaped at the chance to fix things. But now, I feel an emptiness. I don't know, I admit finally. I feel like a stranger in my own life now. She nods, tears brimming again. If you decide to file for divorce, I won't contest it. She trails off, unable to finish. We sit in silence. The bustling noise from outside feels distant, almost surreal. A father walks by the cafe window with his little girl on his shoulders, and I remember how we once talked about children. My throat tightens. This is not the life I envisioned. Rebecca reaches across the table, but I don't take her hand. She lets it drop. I'll give you space, she says in a hushed tone. I just want you to know I'll do whatever it takes if you choose to try again. Therapy, time, boundaries, anything. If you say no, I'll respect that. I stare at my coffee. I need time. I tell her, voice strained. A lot of time. She nods, stands up, wiping her tears. Thank you for listening. She lingers, as if waiting for me to say something more, but I remain silent, staring at the worn tabletop. She leaves, and the door's bell jingles behind her. I close my eyes and exhale. My heart feels like a lead weight, but at least now I know. I'm not ready to forgive, and I'm not ready to decide. I'm caught in a no man's land, uncertain if the wounds can ever mend. In the days that follow, I see a lawyer about a separation. He explains my options. I listen stoically, numb. But I don't sign anything. I pack more of her things, put them in boxes in the garage. Sometimes I catch myself staring at our wedding photos, my mind drifting back to the day we said our vows. Time has made a mockery of those promises, or maybe we made a mockery of them ourselves. A week turns into 2. The scandal around the video dies down. People move on, finding fresh gossip. The shame still pricks at me like a hot needle, but it doesn't consume me as it did before. One evening, Michael tries calling again. I block his number for good. I have no words for him, no desire to hear his voice. Rebecca messages me sporadically, politely, asking for updates on the house or the mail. She's staying at her friend's place, ironically the one who posted the video. I can't fathom that arrangement, but I assume it's complicated. She says she plans to move out of state for a while, maybe go back to Atlanta where her parents live. I wish I didn't care, but a small part of me still aches at the thought. Late one night, I'm sitting on the porch again, sipping tea in the dark. The air is cool. I watch the moonlight glint off the grass. I think about how everything has changed so fast. The old John of a few weeks ago is gone, replaced by someone who's tasted the raw bitterness of betrayal. Maybe that's why I keep the tea unsweetened now. It's a reminder that life can be bitter, no sugarcoating. A text arrives from Rebecca. I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm leaving town next week. Could I come by one last time to say goodbye? I read it twice. Then I put the phone down. I don't respond. In the silence, I realize something. I don't need an official goodbye. I've already said all I can say. She made her choice. I made mine. Perhaps the day will come when we speak again more openly, but not now. Not while my wounds are so raw. I set the phone aside, gaze at the horizon. The night is quiet, gentle, offering neither comfort nor judgment. The next morning, I step outside with my tea. The sunrise is a sharp orange, slicing across the lawn with intense color. My eyes take it in, remembering a thought I had when this all began. That time doesn't really heal, it just erases. The edges of my agony have dulled, replaced by a calm acceptance. I don't know what the future holds, whether I'll finalize a divorce or attempt a reluctant reconciliation. But I do know I can no longer be the man who begs, pleads, or doubts his worth. I sip the bitter tea, letting the last of the nighttime coolness linger on my skin. The phone vibrates again. I ignore it, focusing on the sunrise. I think of how, in the earliest hours of dawn, the world is suspended between darkness and light. That's me, I realize, caught between heartbreak and the faint hope of something new. But at least I've stepped beyond that place of frantic, twisting pain. That was her power over me, feeding on my anger, my confusion. Now, I'm stepping out of reach. My conscience is clear. My guilt, though it still breathes, is a false echo. I did nothing wrong except trust the wrong person, or maybe trust the right person at the wrong time in her life. Either way, I can live with that, learn from it, and move on. The sun clears the horizon, and I think about the man I want to become, someone who doesn't lash out or degrade himself over another's betrayal, someone who holds steady even when the storm knocks everything sideways. The first rays of light warm my face. I take another sip, bracing for the bitterness, but this time it feels almost cleansing. I stand, place the cup on the railing, and let out a long breath. The day is only beginning, and it's mine to shape. Yes, I'm changed. Perhaps there's a hardness to me now, a part that won't easily trust. But I'm still standing, still here, and maybe that's enough for now. If she calls again, let her. If he tries to speak to me, let him vanish into the past. I'm done chasing explanations, done letting them define my pain. I head back inside, leaving the veranda behind. The house feels different, emptier, but also open, as though there's room for something else, something that might grow one day. I set the mug on the countertop and look around, taking in every detail of this place I once saw as our joint future. Now, it's my own, a space where I can rebuild whatever I choose. I straighten my shoulders, exhale, and decide. I'll make it on my own terms. That's how it ends for now. Not with a blazing triumph or a dramatic showdown, but with a quiet acceptance and a resolve to live, to find myself again, and to let time, if not heal, then at least wash away what no longer matters.